Okay, I wanted to do a quick video just to give you guys some examples of properties that we've done, purchase prices compared to market value, and also show you just a quick, easy way to determine your market value. There is a little bit of an art to it, so to speak. So, um, first one we're going to look at is a property in South Raleigh. Actually, both of these are in Southeast Raleigh. But if you go to Zillow and type in, once you find a property, whether you're looking in Zillow or somewhere else, um, pull it up in Zillow. This is a property that we actually bought for 25,000. Um, okay, it pulls it up here. I usually right click and then open the actual page in a different tab up here. So I'm going to go ahead and close that, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. And I've got, this way I can see what is for sale. I've got it selected up here for what all's for sale and all the pre-market stuff, and I've left the sold prices off. This is well, it's supposed to be in the last 6 months is generally how we do it. So you apply that. So that property was right around in this area. We bought it for 25,000. Looking at it, it needed about 25,000 in repairs. Um, you know, between 15 and 20,000. And you can look what other properties are selling for in the neighborhood. Then you can go over to this other tab that we opened that actually gives you all the details on the property. It's 975 square feet, built in 69. If you scroll down, notice how I'm not paying any attention to this number here. This is estimate is for the most part worthless. It says 85,000. Remember, there's nothing listed for more than 79,000 there right now, at least on Zillow. If you scroll down here, you get this nearby similar cells. If you click on that, it's going to pull up all the cells in that immediate area, and you zoom in to the this actual neighborhood is Apollo Heights. Okay, you've actually got one decent cell here for 96,000. I don't know why, but here lately Zillow keeps all of these. If you resort them, it'll decrease it so that you're only seeing what you have displayed on your map. I used to do that all the time on its own, but for some reason it's not doing that anymore. Um, but anyhow, looking at these, in fact, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. Pull this around so that I get, kind of the closest nearby cells. See how it's still got all those listed. If you resort it and you look at the most recent ones, not a lot here. Okay. Nothing in the last 6 months, according to this. But it still gives you a good idea of what properties are selling for. This one, I can guarantee if you go and look at this, it's probably, if you go to the Wake County real estate property search and you look at that one, what was that address? I guarantee you that was bought by another investor. Yeah, so already it's Secure Inc. It's got a different address from the property address. That's how you know if it's an investor comp or not. So pretty decent sized property, a lot bigger than the one that I had, but probably needs a significant amount of work, and they got a great deal on it. So that's not going to be a good retail comp. Let's look at this 505 solar. Okay, another investor comp actually bought for 67, about the same square footage. Um, Property was built in about the same time. Um, so that's a solid comp too. Let's look at this one that sold for 95 or 96. So this one's a little bit bigger. Same address. So this is the person that bought here. I actually, let me see if I remember right. That's not what I was thinking. Um, that one surprises me. Uh, that sell in this neighborhood at $96,000 is pretty unheard of. If you zoom out a little bit, where did the rest of those sales go? Here, I'm just going to reopen it then. Go back over here. What I know of this neighborhood, and we work in Southeast Raleigh a lot, um, that is pretty high. Just my opinion that if you look at, pull it out and look at some more houses, the majority of them are selling in the 60s to 80s. Um, Looks like the prices have gone up a little bit because the last time this was back in November that we bought this one, um, and prices were maxing out at about 75. So it looks like they may be going up a little bit. But that kind of gives you a good idea. Once you figure out which ones are retail versus which ones are investor comps, you kind of get uh, an idea of what the price points are. If you sort it by price, you can see obviously this is ridiculous. This is, well, that's in this newer subdivision over here. That's right. Um, but you get kind of different price ranges. So you've got here the 83 to this, like I said, this one's kind of high. So you got the 83 to 84. Then you drop down into the 60s and 50s. There are clear price ranges here. What we want to be in is at or below kind of this middle price range is what we're looking at. Like I said, and without looking at each individual one and looking at if there's any pictures that you can find so you can see the condition of the property, there's really not any way to tell what kind of condition the properties are in. My guess is these up here were bought by landlords who are looking to rent out. The properties were rent ready. They may need upgrades for somebody who's going to rehab and flip, but for somebody who's renting it out for $850 a month, that's a good price. So, anyhow, for this property, it looks like now, and this is what I'm looking at for the retail value. So, to be conservative, I mean, both of these are larger, quite a bit larger. Um, that a lot of times I'll take the price per square foot, ones that are in line with the retail, because we looked at one of these. No, we didn't look at those. But anyhow, I'll take like just kind of the average of 75, 69. Um, Average those together, get an average price per square foot, and that way you can get an idea. It's about 72 per square foot. Do that about 70,000. Based on what I'm seeing here, I think it's a little low. I still feel like, just my gut feeling and what I know of the area, that it's still at about $75,000. Um, and we actually ended up selling this property for just $37,000 to a landlord investor, somebody who was going to go in. They would fix the immediate repairs that it needed. When I say it had $25,000 or $25,000 in repairs, I'm talking a full rehab. Somebody else looking at that property could have gone in there and said, okay, there's a hole in the floor. We need to fix that. Um, get some new appliances in here and flooring and clean it up. And they may spend less than $10,000 on it, and then, like I say, rent it out for $850 a month. So that's one that we did, and just to give you an idea of another one, we'll look at this one that we bought as well. I believe this was in November as well. Or no, this one was in October. Okay, we're going to right click on this, open the link in another tab, zoom out, see if we've got any other sales in that neighborhood. Not really. I mean, a few. This one's, I don't know what that's about. Let's see here. That looks like somebody that's delusional. Um, could be, they could have some land here or something. Maybe there's, I'm not really going to look at it that closely. I'm running out of time here. But if you go over here, you look at the, scroll down, you're going to look at, like I said, the nearby similar cells, completely ignoring the value that Zillow gives it or any other website for that matter. Um, this is a good area. I know it doesn't look that way. I know that this property is worth every bit of around 90 to 100,000. Um, looking at these retail sales right here, like this one, it's probably a larger. Why is it not coming up? Okay, here it is. Yeah, so it's quite a bit larger than the one that we bought. Ours was, it's 300 square foot larger. Um, this one should be pretty comparable, but anyhow, if you go around and you look at the rest of these, you're going to find that a lot of these are probably investor comps. And like I said, on this one, we had this one under contract for 18,000. It did need a lot of work. It needed a significant amount. We actually ended up having to pull the roof off and change the pitch of the roof because of some drainage issues that caused the previous roof to rot out in a specific area. So, and they had to get an architect out there to look at and somebody that really knows what they're talking about. So, it did need a lot of work, but all said and done, we probably just put about 35 into it. So just to give you an idea, that's what we're looking at. If a property needs a lot of work, we're looking for a deal. If it's moderate amount of work, I mean, average, most of the houses that I see, especially this age, um, average is uh, around 20,000 when you're talking about full rehab. Um, but anyhow, I hope that helps. I kind of mumbled along. This is probably the first video I've ever made like this, and it's turned out to be pretty long. So anyhow, good luck to you guys, and keep those deals coming to us.